In this quick guide, we're going to try and put together all the skills we've learnt in all the other quick guides to make a promo. This is quite a complex process, so we're going to be using all of the tools and skills that we've learned over the last few quick guides and try to put together a promo that we can play at the beginning of our show, which will include an introduction, a kind of promotion of what music we're going to play on the show. Also, we're going to promote the interviews we're going to have in the show, and finally we're going to finish off so that we can actually get started. So the best thing to do with this is actually to write out and plan your show, plan the promo before you get started, and write some scripts. So we're going to need an introduction of some description, and then we're going to play an introduction that says something like, hello, welcome to the show. We've got a great show planned for you today. We're going to be hearing music from music like this, and then play a couple of snippets from some music. Then we're going to say, also, we're going to be talking to, and then the name of the people we're going to talk to, and play a little snippet of an interview. And then finally, so let's get on with the show, so we can have a single promo that we can play at the beginning of our show, which will kind of promote what's coming up on the show. So we're going to use all the skills we've already covered and also some of the elements we've already used. So without further ado, let's just jump in and get started. So the first thing we need to do, as ever, is go over to Myriad. So, okay, so I left the recording from last time, so just get rid of that. So what we're going to do is start off with an introduction element. So I'm going to just record a quick voice which just says, hello and welcome to the show. Coming up on the show today, we've got some great music like this. Okay, so I'm going to press record. Hello and welcome to a show. Coming up on the show today, we've got some great music like this. So I've hit stop on record. I want to save it, but as ever, we need to probably do a bit of editing on that. So hello and welcome to a show. Coming up on the show today, we've got some great music like this. Okay, so I'm just going to trim the silence off the end, and we're going to normalize it. Give it a title. Intro. And save it. So there's our introduction piece. The next audio piece we're going to need is going to I'm going to record a voice. So I'm going to play that intro, and I'm going to play a couple of snippets of songs. Then I'm going to say, also, we'll be talking to Mr. Manchi about the choir. Okay, so I'm going to record that element next. Press the record button. Okay, oops, I'm going to edit this bit off the beginning, so it doesn't matter. Also, later on, we'll be talking about Mr. Manchi. Try again. See, if you make a mistake recording, it's no problem, because you can edit it. Also, later, we'll be talking to Mr. Manchi about the choir. So I've stopped recording. I'm going to edit the audio, and that's the bit we want. So we just trim off the beginning. Oops. And trim off the end. Normalize it to 100%, and I'm also going to set an auto extra. I forgot to set the auto extra on the last one, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go back and set that on the other one. So I've just given this a title so I know what it is. Now if you remember to set the auto extra, I'll just go into it, press the auto extra button. And that's now set the extra. And then the final recorded element I need is I want to just say something along the lines of, so keep tuned for a great show. Something along that. So here we go. So try again. So stay tuned for a great show. Okay, edit the audio one last time. Trim the silence from the beginning and the end. Normalize it. So stay tuned for a great show. And we set the extra. I'm going to call this one out. Okay, so we're going to put these into the pad in the order we want them. So we want to have the intro, the interview, and the out. So if I listen to this, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Hello, welcome to a show. Coming up on the show today, we've got some great music like this. Also later, we'll be talking to Mr. Manchi about the choir. So stay tuned for a great show. Right, nice, but we actually need some content in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few songs in. Now, what we're looking for here is songs with a hook set, and that is indicated by a little H on here. So if I look at this, Don't Stop Believing, this bit here is what we call a hook. And if I play the hook, which I'm going to do here, okay, so it's just the kind of most recognizable part of the track, and you can tag the hooks in Myriad to actually use them in this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop Don't Stop Believing after the intro, and I'm also going to put Hot and Cold in there. So that's put in 2 songs. So you can see that's elevated the running order to 7 minutes, but we don't want that to be 7 minutes. So what we're going to do next is let's go back to music. Is we're going to tell Myriad to only play the hooks from those songs. So we do that by clicking on the hook button here. So now it's got the intro, 6 seconds of Don't Stop Believing, Katy Perry, then an interview, and then the interview promo. So then the next thing we need to do is put the actual interview of Mr. Manchi in. So I'm going to go back and do a search for Manchi. There we go. So double click on it, take me to that item. So there is the interview with Mr. Manchi, but we've got a problem here because you can see there's no hook set on this one. So we actually need to set the hook before we can use it. So we go into the edit and we listen to the audio.
Thank you. We will now be speaking to Mr. Manchi, telling us about the choir and what they did on Sunday 29th of March 2009. Hi Olivia.
Okay, but what we want to do is find the most exciting part of the interview.
I'm afraid I went on to iPlayer because I forgot to put my clocks forward.
There we go, that's a good bit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight that little section there and set the hook. So set the hook start to be there and hook end to be there. Okay, so we listen to the hook.
I'm afraid I went on to iPlayer because I forgot to put my clocks forward.
Okay, so that's our hook set on this interview. So now I can just drag that into there, and you can see it's, instead of being 1 minute and 37, it's now 4 seconds. Then we've got my out. And what I would often do then would be to go into a jingle after that. So let's put in a Hot FM jingle after that. So if we listen to this whole thing now, it will make a lot more sense. Hello, welcome to a show. Coming up on the show today, we've got some great music like this. Also later, we'll be talking to Mr. Manchi about the choir.
I'm afraid I went on to iPlayer because I forgot to put my clocks forward.
So stay tuned for a great show.
Log on to our website www.hotfmradio.co.uk.
Okay, that's really good. What I might do is put something in between the Katy Perry and the interview, just because it sounds a little bit harsh going from music into there. So what we'd look for is have some type of burst of static or something. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, let's see what one of these is. Good, that will do. So we shall put that into there. So we're going to come out of Katy Perry, play that, and then do. So obviously you could record your own version of it. So that's our promo done. If you remember to mix this down to a single piece of audio, because we just want to play this as a promo at the beginning of our show, click on this button here and choose an empty cart to put it into, and there we have it, it's put in. So now we've got a 31-second promo we can play at the beginning of our show, and it'll sound something like this. Hello, welcome to a show. Coming up on the show today, we've got some great music like this. Also later, we'll be talking to Mr. Manchi about the choir.
I'm afraid I went on to iPlayer because I forgot to put my clocks forward.
So stay tuned for a great show.
Log on to our website www.hotfmradio.co.uk.
And there we have it, a very quick and simple promo. We did a lot of complex stuff there. We used lots of different tools and skills that we've learnt, but I think you agree it was easy to put together compared to using a multi-track editor, and we can produce something that sounds very professional and very slick. And because it's quick to do, we can use them as many times as we want to. And of course, if we want to change the order or change the music, then we could do that by just dragging more stuff into here. So there we have it. Have fun, and we'll see you next time.